What I have here is a 1969 JCPenney's Spring and Summer Catalog. Shop catalog by phone. And this is from, I guess this catalog is from Altoona, Pennsylvania. Of course, I don't live in Pennsylvania. I live far away from Pennsylvania, but I found this wonderful catalog on eBay for a decent price. As I mentioned before in other videos, a lot of these old catalogs go for a lot of money on eBay, like an outrageous amount of money, which I'm not going to pay. You know, occasionally I'll find one for a good price, but usually the older the catalog is, the more money it's worth. Like if it's one from the 1950s, I think the 1950s is especially popular. Those go for more. Christmas catalogs from those decades, the 1950s, 1960s, 1970s, the wish books, those go for a lot of money. And of course, you know, really old catalogs, you know, 1940s, 1930s, 1920s, and even before that, if you can find them, of course, those go for a lot of money, especially if they're in good or, you know, decent condition. They're not falling apart. Okay. You know, I really like the fashions from this era. There's a few things that I don't like, but I really like the styles from this era. I mean, I think this is great. This is not excuse me, this is not for everyone, but you know, I like this. I like this look on the cover here. Not everybody can wear that. Well, that's just my opinion. I know somebody's going to disagree with me, but you know, that's just my opinion. Okay, immediately when I turn the page, and I have marked a lot of pages here that I want to, you know, go through. I'm not going to go through everything because that would take too long. And I'm going to try not to have this video too long, to make it too long. Americans on the go. Okay, I don't know what you would call this style. It's almost like an how do you say it, Nehru jacket with that kind of collar. Now I think this is pretty over here. Shift dresses were very popular back then, and when I mean shift dress, I mean something like this, just a really simple shape, design like that, usually sleeveless, but not always sleeveless, just, what do you call it, like an A-line shape, very, very simple. That was the look back in the mid to late 60s. That was a really popular look, they call them shift dresses. But I love the coordinating coat and hat. This is perfect for like a cool spring morning, and then gradually as it warms up during the day, you can take off your coat when you go indoors, of course. Okay, let's move on. Now, in general, I like 1960s fashion and hairstyles, but I don't like some of the short hairstyles from this era, like this one. You know, I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend anybody if you like that. I don't. It's just not attractive to me. Looks a little bit too grandma for me. Okay, I like the plaid dress. I'm not crazy about the blue one with the diamond pattern. And of course, this is very 1960s. You know, I wouldn't wear this in this day and age, and I definitely wouldn't wear that color. But I think it's a cute dress. What is this over here? This is a purse. I guess it almost looks like a bowling bag to me. And of course, we've got a couple more dresses here. Okay, very, very late 1960s. Okay. Let me move this sticky so I can read it. Yeah, definitely 1960s styles. I think that's pretty. I don't know how it looks when she stands up. I imagine it's a high-waisted dress. I'm not going to bother to read the fine print. Yeah, it says Empire. Empire styling, meaning empire waist. You know, this is for really young women and teenage girls. I mean, these styles. It's cute. I know some of you are going to be thinking like, oh my God, what is she talking about? That's cute. But yes, I think it's cute for that time. Yes. Of course, I wouldn't wear it now. I mean, I'm not, you know, young anymore, so I definitely wouldn't wear it. But Yeah, I imagine you might get some looks if you were to wear this today. Unless you were going to a Halloween party, but I think it's cute. Yeah, those are 1960s styles for sure. And look at that hat. Once again, I think it's cute for that time. I doubt if anybody would wear it today. That's cute. This is another thing that I noticed from this time, the late 60s, very early 70s. These kinds of necklines, or these, collars and details at the collar. I noticed that they were popular. That was another look. I mean, there were so many looks back then. There wasn't just one look. So much variety. I think that's a beautiful blouse. Okay, and we've got the coordinating, always the coordinating bags and purses dyed to match. Back then. Even she's got shoes that match. The coral or the peach, whatever you want to call that. She's got shoes in the same color as her skirt, almost. Okay, yeah, I'm into sewing, even though I have to confess I haven't sewed anything since 2020, the pandemic, but I do know how to sew. And I also collected vintage patterns for many years, and I sold them on Etsy as well. So I'm used to seeing a lot of patterns that look like this from the 1960s. I would go on eBay and look for patterns, and sometimes I would buy like a large lot of patterns that had like a whole bunch, different styles, different sizes, sometimes different eras. So I've seen patterns exactly like this. This was the style back then with that kind of, I don't know what you call it, belt in the back. And here we go again. I guess you would call this a shift dress, I think. It's got those two seams in the front. It's almost like I don't think it's a trapeze style. I call it just an A-line style. This one's got a belt loops. And it's got some interesting neckline there. Okay. And of course, short hair. There we go again with that grandma style. That's, I don't like that. I know that frosted hair was really in at this time, but not everybody could wear it, could do the frosted look. That was for people who had, ash blonde hair. Okay, some more 1960s style for sure. Beautiful pastel colors for spring. This one's got a fuller skirt, that's been gathered at the waist. Almost like a early 60s style or a 1950s style, but you see it's much shorter. Comes up above the knees. In the 1950s, women typically wore their skirts below the knees, and then that would change in the 1960s. I actually like the 1960s more. I mean, I like both decades, but I like the 1960s more than the 1950s. I mean, that's just my opinion. Okay, I think that's a beautiful brown dress. I mean, the hat is cute, but I'm not so sure about the hat, that I would wear that. Maybe back then. I thought that it looked good on me back then, of course. Okay, I'm just chilling out in my pajamas this morning. It is the perfect day to go through this catalog. No, I do not like these here. Not too much. Okay, these are kind of cute, but once again, I wouldn't wear these if I was alive back then. If I was a young woman, sure, probably. Look at the belt. Daisies were a popular motif, and I just love the collars. I mean, I really do. These really do just, I don't know, it's just so feminine, and very simple designs. They come up above the knee, and they just look really good on young, attractive women with a nice figure. They look really good. I was watching a video once where a woman said that, you know, if you were a young woman during this era, it was great if you could wear these styles, but if you're a older woman or if you were heavy, you know, it just, you know, there wasn't much out there for you. You know, you couldn't, I'm not saying you couldn't wear the styles. Of course, you could wear whatever you wanted to, but I mean, these styles flattered younger women, you know, with a certain kind of figure. Not meaning to, you know, offend anybody or make anybody mad. Of course, you wear whatever you want. You know, I'm just repeating what you said, and which is something that I believe to be true. Now, I know I've seen sewing patterns for this style. This kind of dress, like usually a short mini dress with a matching cape. And I think it's a really cute look, you know, for that time. It's a dress with a matching coat. It's pretty. And, you know, I like this blue dress with the wide collar. In fact, I like all three of them. I wouldn't wear the white one, of course, because I don't think that that's a good color for me. There's a beautiful late 1960s wedding gown. And I guess that's a bridesmaid's dress. These look like these are mother of the bride styles, or mother of the groom styles, or just women attending the wedding. This lady looks like she's a bit older. Occasionally you'll come across a few older models in the catalog here showing styles that could be suitable for, you know, women over the age of 40. And I'm not saying that 40 is old, but you know what I mean. And back then, you know, times were different. So, you know, you might have been referred to as an older woman if you were 40 plus. But the only thing is that they came up above the knee. So if you had legs that were not in the best shape, like if you had varicose veins, or if you, you know, just after giving birth a few times, if you're a mother of a few kids and you had varicose veins, or you were, you know, your legs were not in the best shape, you know, this was not the most flattering style. Let's just say it like that. I don't know if I would have been comfortable wearing dresses above the knee back then if I were an older lady, but maybe some of them did. See what I mean? That's kind of an older lady. And that one too. I mean, they're pretty styles. I don't really like the blue one that much. And there's another wedding gown. And bridesmaid dress. We've got some bridesmaids dresses. You know, once again, I just really love the styles of this era. I can't express that enough. And I think that's a really beautiful dress. That one's got a matching coat. I think that's really pretty. I think both of those are pretty dresses. I'm not so sure about the hat. You know, some people might like that one. That looks like it has a peacock design, but that's not really my style. That one is like reminiscent of the 1920s. It's like 1920s meets late 1960s, that kind of thing, because it's got a low waist, kind of like the flapper girls wore. I think that's where the inspiration for that dress comes from. Whenever I see the, you know, suits like these or dresses like these, it makes me think of the movie The Graduate with Dustin Hoffman. It makes me think of Mrs. Robinson, the woman that he has an affair with in the movie. She's a nice looking lady. That's who I think of. Oh, no. That's like really grandma stuff, mom stuff. This is like wear to work stuff, I'm sure. Professional looking. you know, I would much prefer the, you know, these styles that look like they're more fun. Oh my gosh, there's an older lady right there. See, this is what older lady, I mean, this would be considered stylish for an older woman, but only, okay, everybody's got their own opinion. I realize that some people don't, you know, they may not agree with me, but I mean, it's only for, you know, women with a, to me, with a certain kind of figure. And, you know, if you could pull off wearing the skirt above the knee, if your legs were in, you know, decent shape. Some women couldn't. I like this one, the black one with the lace, with the floral sleeves. I'm sorry, it's not lace. I must need my glasses. And I like the cute gingham print. And I think the reason that I bookmarked this is to show you guys, you know, how styles repeat themselves. You know, that's got bell sleeves, which is a kind of a popular look today. You see some blouses that have some of the same kind of sleeves that they had back in the 1960s, the bell sleeves, the longer elbow sleeves with the ruffle. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but, you know, I've seen those styles in recent years make a comeback. Now that looks like almost like a house coat to me. So this is what older ladies would have worn back then. But, you know, it comes up above the knees. You just cannot get away from that. That's cute. Penny's has the smart woman in mind. You know, I don't know if you guys have been to JCPenney's lately, and I'm not knocking JCPenney's. You know, I go in there sometimes and I've purchased things from JCPenney's, but, you know, I've heard in recent years that they're not doing that well. I don't know if that's true or not. You know, I guess maybe business is kind of up and down, just like anything else. Maybe some years are better than other years. I don't know. But my husband was shocked when I showed him, you know, some of the older JCPenney catalogs from previous decades, because he said, oh my gosh, they had such beautiful clothing back then. And JCPenney's was not high end, you know. But this, I think that I agree with him. The styles look better back then than they do now, in our opinion. And back then, JCPenney's was like a Sears, you know, it was kind of your one stop for everything. This is the days before the internet and email and before shopping online, of course. So you would, you know, do your shopping. Well, either you would go to the store or you would order from a mail order catalog. And this was a big business. You know, they would send out these big catalogs every season. There's 4 seasons out of the year. And this is how a lot of people shopped, especially if you lived in a town where they didn't have a shopping mall, they didn't have a JCPenney's or a Sears. You know, in some places out in the middle of nowhere, you know, this is how you would order. But so what I was trying to say is JCPenney's was like the Amazon of its day, or the Walmart of its day. Well, not Walmart really, but the Amazon of its day. That's a better way of putting it. I don't know who was bigger. Probably Sears probably had a little bit more, but when comparing the two catalogs, like I've had vintage Sears catalogs before, so I think that JCPenney's had clothing that was maybe just a little bit better than Sears back then. If anyone disagrees with me, you know, I'm not trying to offend anyone. It's just, that's just my opinion. All right, let's move on. You know, this is a nice style. I love the hat. I think the dress is pretty. I just think that's very pretty and very elegant. I mean, I've seen similar styles in recent years or recent decades. This almost looks like something you would find in the 1980s, almost, maybe with just a little bit of change to it. I mean, the dress. That's really vintage looking, that checkered dress right there and that top. And this one over here. That one looks like it's got shorts underneath, like matching shorts. I mean, that looks like that's a lot of fun. It's actually cute. So once again, we see that name Pin Pressed. So that must be, I don't know if that was a name brand that was sold everywhere or just exclusively through JCPenney. I don't know. Probably it was a JCPenney brand. Now, somebody made the comment once that I was going too fast, especially when we got to the lingerie section. So if you feel like I'm going too fast, please just pause, because I am trying to get through the video and I realize there may be things that you want to take a closer look at. So please do pause. Oh, I love this with the daisy. What is that? No, it's not rickrack. It looks like it's a daisy trim. Daisy chain. And I like that one, believe it or not. I mean, for that time, for that era, it just looks very, very 1960s. You know, you can go to Joann's today, in this day and age, and you can find things like rickrack and daisy trim if you want to put that on your dress, especially for children. And I think it's cute, but you don't find things like this in stores anymore, with these kinds of little, you know, daisy chain trims, whatever they're called. Not too often, especially not for adults, and rickrack. If you want to have this stuff, you know, you got to make it probably on your own, you know, customize, make your own clothing. And it's fun to make clothing. It just takes an awful lot of time, and it's kind of an expensive hobby, believe it or not. Oh, I love this. The green one especially. More so than the orange or red, whatever color that is. And of course, bell bottoms and vests were all the rage back then. And I'm pausing here because despite what I think other people will think, I really do love these two dresses. I mean, I don't care for the one so much on the right, the lighter colored one. I think it's cute for the right person, like the model shown here. It's too light, this color. I wouldn't wear it personally, but it looks good with her with her complexion and her hair color. It looks very good on her. And I think the red suits the blonde, you know, better. If you were, I mean, the red would also look good on the brunette, but the red suits the blonde more. That color works better for her fair skin and her blonde hair. So I do like the style of the red dress, but only for the right person. It's, you know, it's only for a young person with a, you know, youthful figure. It's definitely not, these are definitely not styles for somebody older. You know what I mean? Okay, that's the reason why I paused here. And I'm not sure why I paused here. Just maybe it's this outfit here on the right, this little two-piece outfit that I think is, I don't like the pattern, but I just think the style is cute. I like the yellow dress. I know some of you must be balking like, huh, what? You like that? This is the junior section, and actually this is for petite juniors. So I think petites are women who are 5'4" and under, or under 5 feet 4 inches tall. There's a drop waist style. I don't know how tall these models would have been who are showing off the styles. Okay, that's cute there in the front. I mean, once again, that is a very vintage look. There's a dress with like a sailor color. I mean, it's like a nautical look. Okay, I don't really care for those that much. Even though I do love gingham and I love green and white gingham. I think that's pretty. I don't really like those styles though. So that looks very much like a teenage dress right there. It's a green and white gingham, which I like. It looks like it's got almost like a pinafore over it. So I don't know what the what they were going for back then. I'm going to show you what I mean in a minute, because some of these dresses almost look like baby doll dresses, like dresses that you would put on little girls, only they're not for little girls. They're for teenage girls or for young women. That one's got an interesting collar and neckline. collar. I mean, that's actually cute, the pattern and everything. And so is the green. Of course, this also makes me think of the Brady Bunch whenever I'm going through these styles. No, I don't like that one right there, and I especially don't like that hair. No, no, no. She kind of reminds me of Marsha Brady a little bit. There's those pigtails, looped pigtails. That's cute. And that's cute. That's a really short dress. That's also cute. Okay. I don't know if I said this before, but I'm just chilling out in my pajamas and going through this catalog. Now, white boots were a thing. Here we go again with the white boots. I noticed that these were in style going into the early 70s as well. So they became, a thing during the late 1960s. And this trend continued into the early 70s. Let's kind of zoom in here. Okay. That's really my reason for pausing here. Okay. It's very 1960s. I like those colors, and I like these outfits, all of them really. I like the pants as well. Look at the purse. Like I already said, if you see something that interests you, and if I move too quickly, please just pause or slow the video down if you can do that. I don't know if that's possible or not. Okay, my reason for stopping here is probably the hat. Okay, just gonna move on. Oh, this is kind of like, I don't know what you call this, a skirt. I'm not going to bother to read. If I read it, it would probably tell me what it is. But this was a popular look. It was not just in the 60s, but I've seen it before. It's cute. It's actually shorts there. Kind of looks like a dress, but it's really shorts. Okay, I don't like that style there with the striped shirt and the pants, but that looks very 1960s. That's cute, the blue and white and the white pants. All right, let me move more quickly. Okay, here we go with the bathing suits. Got some one pieces here. Some that provide a little bit more coverage, like this one. Then we've got some two pieces. Back then, the style still came up to the navel, I believe. It covered the navel. Most of them, maybe not all of them. So this would have been considered maybe more daring to have the lower cut bikinis below the navel. You see what I mean? Those came up to the navel, sorry. And that one is below the navel. I do like this bikini here, the green and white one with the little daisy or the flower. What is that? Some kind of flower, yeah. On the top, I think that is so cute. And that is actually cute too. I've never seen a bathing suit like that. It looks like it's got a ruffle trim and a belt. Is that a bathing suit? Oh, it calls these classic swimsuits. Okay. But you notice that the bottoms provided more coverage. See? They did not yet have string bikinis, or at least not that I am aware of back then. Definitely not, what do you call them? Thongs, teabags. Nothing like that back then. So this is really cute. I like this material, and it's got a cute cover up. Okay. Oh my gosh, can you say grandma? Okay, no, I don't like those. That's cute. That's got a cute cover up as well. And these kind of look like nautical looking bathing suits, kind of, because of the red and white colors. Not really nautical, but primary colors. That one almost looks like lingerie. They were that kind of bow trim. It's not. Okay, just a few more bathing suits here. We're going to go over. Some of these are kind of cute in a tacky kind of way. And some of them are just cute in a retro kind of way. All right, let's move past this. All right, I'm taking way too long. Okay, here we've got some kind of tacky styles that I'm not crazy about. Polyester knits. Oh, have to pause here for the hairdo. Okay, that's not what I wanted to show you guys. Okay, another thing that I noticed are these kinds of blouses were very popular in the late 60s into the early 70s with these really elaborate kind of ruffled necklines. I don't know what you would have called that look. It says ruffled, how do you say that? Jabbet blouse, ruffled V-neck blouse. Okay. Let's keep moving. Just, you know, I'm not crazy about these styles. It looks very 1960s. There's some wide leg pants, bell bottom. It's got like a sash for a belt. And I think I wanted to pause here because of the necklace. That looks very, very late 1960s. I don't believe that's supposed to be a cross. I don't know what that's supposed to be. It's a pendant of some kind. And I don't see it here listed. Maybe I'm just overlooking it, so I can't give you a description of what it is. And they've got a variety of different kind of skirts. I like some of them that have the, you know, the deep pleat in the front. I forget what you call that. I mean, I've seen sewing patterns where you can make skirts like these. Here we go again with that pendant or that necklace. Look at those plaid bell bottoms. Oh my gosh. When I say, oh my gosh, that doesn't necessarily mean that I like them. It might mean that I'm just overwhelmed by how loud they are, you know, or maybe I think they're tacky. I don't want to say tacky, but you know what I mean. Some more bell bottoms. Okay, I think these are for like schoolgirls. Okay, moving right along. Let's just keep going. Nothing to see here. That looks like stuff moms would wear back then. It's cute. Capri pants were also a thing. Yeah, my reason for pausing here is the this look right here. How do you say that? Nehru? This kind of collar was popular in the late 1960s. I guess that is based on a Indian or Pakistani style, you know, those Nehru jackets. Am I saying it right? Nehru? If I'm wrong, you know, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I like that coat there, the rust-colored one. Okay, here we go again. We got the matching cape and the dress and the hat. You know, I like that look. I don't necessarily like the fabric choices that they've used, but I do like that look. I just think it's a smart, stylish look. But it is very retro looking, very vintage looking. Okay. All right, I have, you know, bookmarked too many things, but I'm not going to pause at everything. There's that necklace, that pendant again. Okay, oh wow, yeah, I like the yellow and the hat. I don't know what you call that hat, but that is just too cute. Okay. Okay, I think this is maternity wear. And I love the flowered top and the pants. I think that's actually cute. You know, their maternity clothing of this era is so different than a lot of the maternity clothing today, which is mostly like stretchy knits. But back then these were wovens, which is kind of hard to find these days unless you're going to make them yourself. And there's a cute bathing suit, maternity dress. Oh, I like that with the strawberry applique. And some maternity coats, raincoats it looks like. So these are all maternity styles. All right, let's skip past this. Of course, we have the, you know, beauty essentials here. Hot curlers, makeup mirrors, that kind of thing. You know, when I was a little girl, my older sister, she once found an old-fashioned hairdryer at a yard sale. It was the kind that had the cap and the hose. So you would put the cap on and insert the hose and you would dry your hair that way. It's kind of like the same thing that you see in beauty salons today when you sit in the chairs and they put down the plastic head covering so that your hair dries that way. Sort of like the same thing, only you were wearing a cap. And I don't know what happened to that hairdryer. She actually gave it to me when I was a child. But I guess my parents eventually threw it out. I mean, it was already a dated thing by the time I was a little girl. I mean, of course, we had the handheld hair dryers, but it was a neat thing to have, and it did work for a while. Maybe they threw it away because it broke or whatever. I don't know why. I don't know what happened to it. But I would love to have it now, just for, you know, just because for nostalgic reasons. Okay, the reason I bookmarked this is because this is Mary Quant. I think that's how you say the name. I'm familiar with this name. I think this was like a famous designer in the 60s. She had a very popular line of clothing. It says Mary, how you say that, Quant of London. So those are cute 90s. So this would have been a well-known name brand, I think, back then. And these are all pretty styles. Pajamas. This one is a lot of fun here. Okay, move on. And these are cute. And when I see this, I think of Marsha Brady, the one on the left, the blue, the powder blue. Oh, this is cute. I like the suit. You don't see styles like this anymore, that's for sure. Not really. I mean, you know, styles repeat themselves, of course. But, I don't know. I don't see a lot of robes like that. Just mostly like plain old wraparound terry cloth robes. That kind of thing. Okay, so these are leotards. This is what you would wear for working out or for dance, if you were into ballet. Dance, exercise, sportswear, gymnastics, that kind of, I don't know if you wear this for gymnastics, definitely not the tights, but you know what I mean, just bodysuits, leotards. Okay, I'm not going to go through the lingerie section, really, so I'm sorry to disappoint anyone who wants me to spend more time. Slips were obviously a big thing. They even had short slips back then, of course, to wear under the short styles, including short half slips. And they sold shapewear. Some more slips. Okay, let's get past these. Full figure bras. And these are from Fuller Figures. Meant to kind of streamline, give you a streamlined look, streamlined. And I bookmarked this because these are arts and craftsy kind of things here. Got a walrus, crocodile or alligator. What is that, a hippo? A lion, I don't know what that thing is there. Rhinoceros, I think. So they sold everything. Well, not everything, but I don't think JCPenney sold appliances. but it did sell things for the home, as you're going to see in a minute. I'm not really going to spend much time on that, but it sold fabric. Can you believe that? I know I've talked about this before in another video I made where I'm going through a JCPenney catalog, but they sold fabric, as you can see here. And these, they're showing you examples of the styles that you can make from the sewing patterns and the fabric that they sold. So these are all like homemade styles. I noticed that the looped braids were very popular back then. I mean, it was a popular look. I'm not saying everybody wore it, but it was actually a cute look. Okay. So if you had children and you knew how to sew, and if you had time, this was a great thing, I think. I love that look with the apron. That's actually a cute dress, the black and the white striped, and the hat. And I like the pink and white and the white. Those are all cute. They're pretty. Nothing's wrong with those. I mean, they would look out of place now. You know, maybe with a few changes, they might fit in, like if they're a little bit longer. But I think they're cute. Okay, I'm not that crazy about those two. And oh my gosh, you know, I always wondered what look they were going for with this. But, you know, I have an older 1940s Montgomery Ward's catalog. And when I was looking in the little girls section, I noticed that there were styles very similar to these kinds of styles that were popular in the late 60s, early 70s. So I think this is like a vintage 1940s look that they were going for, but only with a late 1960s twist, you know, like a modern twist, because it was shorter skirt. And these are for either teenagers or for young adults. It just looks like kind of like a grown-up doll, you know, big baby doll kind of look. When I say big baby doll, I mean an adult or an older teenager. I think that's the look they were going for. That's very, very retro. Okay, cute, but not something that we would wear in this day and age. I mean, it would really just kind of stick out if you were gonna wear that. And look, here's some stylish shoes from the era. Some handbags. Some more shoes. They came in a few different colors so that you could possibly match them to your outfit. It says imported Italian pumps. Bear Hug, a shoe you can live in. Okay. Some more. Sanitized treated, okay. Those are nice spectator pumps. Okay. Sandals. Oops. All right, let's just move past this quickly because I know I'm gonna take too long. Looks like these are orthopedic type shoes for people who worked on their feet a lot. That looks like a nurse's uniform from this era. So that's probably what you see here. Nurses' shoes, maybe people who waited on tables. You'd wear that kind of stuff. It's kids' clothing. Carol Evans. You know, they didn't have this brand around when I was little, but I know I've heard that name before, I'm pretty sure. You just don't make it anymore. It says also available in chubby. Today we call them plus sizes. Back then for kids it was chubby, and for adults it was stout. Drop-waisted dresses. And then we have the big bow at the collar. This one has ruffles. That's cute. That looks like a communion dress, a first communion or confirmation dress. Does anybody watching remember these styles? Did you wear these styles back in the day? Okay, so this was like a popular theme, Native American. I think that's the look they're going for here. And I like the navy blue dress. That's cute. That's actually really cute. It's got a cute scarf tied around it. And I mean, this is cute. This is very retro looking, very vintage, this red dress here. And at one time, monogramming was popular. It was a thing. I mean, you can still get things monogrammed today. It's just not as trendy as it used to be. Kids' clothing is always fun to look at. Look, oh my God, look at those bell bottoms. Shit. So the bell bottom trend started in the late 60s and continued on into the 70s until about the mid 1970s or so. I don't know exactly when it ended. If you watch the movie Saturday Night Fever, which I think came out in 1977, they weren't really wearing bell bottoms by that time, but they were wearing what we would call bootcut pants today, kind of like pants with like a slightly flared leg. So they weren't really wide leg bell bottoms like they did in the late 60s, early 70s. Okay. Some more Carol Evans stuff. Oh my gosh. Flowered bell bottoms. And of course the requisite bright colors, the orange, yellow, and green. What is it? Harvest gold, orange, and green. Something like that. Those were popular colors back then. Oops. Bathing suits. Now this one's cute. It looks very old-fashioned, but it's cute. Oh my gosh, that one looks really old-fashioned. Yeah, I kind of like that one. Oh my gosh, what is on her head? Cute. Cute. Okay, so these are boys' clothing. Little man. Aren't the styles a good bit different than what they are today in some ways? There's that Nehru look again. If I'm not saying it right, I apologize. With that kind of collar, and then there's some kind of medallion that he's wearing, or pendant, whatever you want to call it, necklace. And he's wearing one too. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's a little bit much for me. Look at those shirts. Definitely getting Brady Bunch vibes from looking at all this. Isn't that neat? It's got a kerchief. I mean, what boy would wear that today, I wonder? I mean, it's cute in a vintage, kind of way. All right, let's move ahead. Gonna get to the men's clothing. So that's kind of stuff that men wore back in the day. Oh my gosh, look at those shorts. Look at those pants. Look at that jacket. It's pale yellow. And look at that pink shirt. Oh my goodness. Let's move right along. Okay, this looks like business clothing that guys would wear to work. $5 for a shirt. What? $3.98. Some plaid shirts. And over here, they have some matching his and hers. There you go. And right there, take this off. And right there. For some reason I keep thinking Dr. Spock when I see some of these things. Boxers from back in the day. Okay. All right, let's move on. I guess this is like work clothing. Work beds. This looks like grandpa stuff. Work jackets. Okay, let's move on to some interesting stuff. Okay, so back then, you could order hunting rifles from JCPenney's and Sears, I'm pretty sure. Now, as far as background check goes, I believe you would have to pick this up like at a, I know they used to have, maybe not the actual physical store, but I forget what it's called, like a center basically. What does it say here? We deliver guns only through Penny's catalog centers. Okay, that's what I was talking about, a center. Or the catalog center nearest you, turn to page 4. What is that, 64 and following. We sell guns only to persons 21 years of age or more. Proof of age will be required by the catalog center at time of delivery. We deliver guns only to the person whose name appears on the order invoice. Proof of identity will be required by the catalog center at the time of delivery. In addition to the above, we conform to all local, state, and federal laws and ordinances that impose further restrictions on gun sales. So back then it was probably a little bit easier to obtain guns. They did try to have some, red tape that you'd have to get through, I guess, if you wanted to buy a gun. So these are just hunting rifles, nothing crazy here, just rifles for hunting. And of course they had workout equipment. All right, let's move on. Getting towards the end. I'm not gonna go through all this stuff. It says Spanish style. So this is like coffee table. Got some end tables here. I guess that's what they are. And what are these? Cedar chest. You can store things in those. There's a corner desk. I don't know if that was for sale or not, if that's just for the picture. Probably, because they're advertising another dresser here that looks like that. So this definitely looks like mid-century modern. Even though I consider 1969 to really be late 20th century. It's just right on the cusp. I always used to like chairs like that, wicker chairs. I don't know how comfortable that would have been to sit in, but just the shape was interesting. Oh, there's a scale shaped like a heart. Neat. And I think this is for the bathrooms. Yeah, clothes, dirty clothes hamper. That's pretty. That's in pink. I normally wouldn't decorate anything in pink, really. I mean, unless it's a kid's room, but whatever. It's still a pretty color. Okay. Bedspreads of the day. Going for a Mediterranean look here. And over here, this is called Cosmopolitan. Some of these are not attractive in my opinion. Okay, I'm not gonna say which ones. I'm just, some of them are okay, some are not. Now, when I was a little girl, I would have wanted something like this pink bedroom ensemble right there. That would have been like my dream bedroom. Frilly and pink. And my mom would have picked out something totally different. She wasn't wild about frilly and pink. stuff. Look at the blue one. Or even better, I would have wanted something like this when I was really little, but I don't like that now. The one with the dolls, I mean. All right, I think we're just about at the end. Yeah. Okay, that completes my video here. I know this was a long one, and if you have made it through the entire video, I appreciate you watching. And I hope you've enjoyed this walk down memory lane with me. I certainly enjoyed making this video. And, you know, if it's a bit long, why don't you just watch it in sections, sorry. And if you need me to slow down, just pause the video if you want to take a little bit closer look at something, if I went too fast. But I do have to go fast because these videos are pretty long. There's a lot of stuff to cover. So thank you for watching. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe.